really like abandoned cow pastures. This used to be a longhorn pasture here in Addicks, and what's left are these oak trees that are growing solo, and they're not close at all, and you get to see them in their, I guess, their unbridled glory, you would say. Cattle always grazed under them, stayed under them for shade. Sometimes they get under them, get out of the rain, and they're really nice to look at. Something comforting about them. Mind you, some of them are a bit ominous. I call this one the living dead. It's very, like I said, it's ominous. It's like it's barely clinging on to life. I don't know if the longhorns had picked it out as their favorite rubbing tree or scratching tree or what, but it suffered from the flood from Hurricane Harvey. The Addicks Reservoir flooded all this under about 6 or 7 feet of water. But it's managing to survive somehow. It's got some new growth out on the farthest reaches of its limbs, so it's got some kind of sap going through it. But it's kind of sad and ominous, a little freaky at the same time. Now this one I find to be the most comforting at all. As a matter of fact, this is my favorite tree out here. It was already leaning over, and then when the floods came, it weakened the soil around its roots and it leaned over even further. And it's become like a shelter of sorts. Let's go under it and I'll show you what I mean. I think it'd be a great place to camp overnight. Just put a tent underneath it, or a cot with screened cot, and just sleep through the night like this. It's really a nice tree, and like I said earlier, it's my favorite one out here. I like to come under here and just kind of hang out and relax. You see, it's leaned up and over, but the limbs all reach to the ground. Some of them are going to take root in the ground here, and they'll provide support for it in its leaning status. I remember visiting Sherwood Forest in England, and they had the old oak there. It was a 250-year-old oak that the tree surgeons and all had done everything they could to keep it alive. It had support beams, it had limbs growing to the ground, it had cables and chains holding up the limbs so it could keep alive, and they were always treating it. They claimed it was a tree that probably Robin Hood would have seen himself. I don't know if that was true or not, but you can look up the old oak in England on Google or something and take a look at what I mean. Well, that's it for today. Just wanted to show you one of my favorite little haunts. I might just have to stealth camp out here one night. We'll see. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Bye.